Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Eliza at Eliza Journals. If you're new here, welcome. If not, welcome back. So today I'm going to be showing you my Jinhao haul, kinda. Okay, so it started off, long story short, started off with the Jinhao 100 Peacock at the Atlanta Pen Show. So I was so obsessed with how awesome it writes that I wanted to see if the other Jinhao 100s wrote the same. So I bought these three on Amazon last month, and these two are fine nibs and they write the same. The only one that's different, has a lot of feedback, is the extra fine nib. But anyway, amazing pen. So then I thought, I wonder if Jinhao 100 or Jinhao has other models. And then that's when I learned about the other models. So today I am just going to be doing a comparison basically of the nib and telling you all the price points of each pen. So let's just jump into it. So what I'm going to do to make this a little organized, since it's so many pens, I'm just going to review one of each. So this is a Jinhao 100. These are Jinhao 80, Jinhao 75, Jinhao 601A Retro, Jinhao 35, Jinhao 95, Jinhao 86s, Jinhao 9036, Jinhao 9019 Dao Dao series, and Jinhao 1935 Tian Dao series. So the first ones we're going to compare, or really I'm just going to show you all basically a pen test of how each one of them write. So we'll do the Jinhao 100, we'll do a Jinhao 80, the Jinhao 75, the Jinhao 601 Retro, Jinhao 35, the Jinhao 95, and then we'll come back and do the other ones. And of course I'm going to use my, this is just a regular 160 GSM bullet journal, and let's just jump right into it. I'm gonna scoot that over. So we'll just jump right into it. So this is the Jinhao 100. I will actually tell you what it's inked with to save for time. It is inked with Pilot Iroshizuku Yuyake, and it writes so good. The nib, I am actually a lover of the Jinhao fine nib because it is really smooth. And like I said before, the only issue I have is the extra fine replacement nib I bought, because it is very scratchy on 160 GSM. So this, I would say the Jinhao 100 in the fine nib, it really writes like a medium fine. And this is a Jinhao 80. The material is carbon, has gold trimming, has a converter. The only thing I don't like is that it takes a lot of turns to uncap these and cap them back on when you're putting the converter in and out. It's like a lot of turns. And I did notice that when I received the pen, the nib, it was already a little scratchy, because you know that they test the pens before they even sell them, which is why you have to be careful, because it comes with blue ink already on the nib. So I literally had to flush all of these pens out before I even inked them up. So this is a Jinhao 80. And this is a fine nib. And what it's inked with is Beryllium Green Kingfisher Green. So now what I do like about it is the nib is actually smooth. Although I didn't like the scratches that came on the nib, I kind of felt like that lowered the quality of the pen a little bit, but I only paid $9. The nib actually writes like a true fine. And really depending on how you write with it, because I don't write correctly with my fountain pens. I usually write with it this way, which I know is wrong, so don't be coming for me in the comments. But that's to just give me a finer stroke when I write with the pen. But anyway, I absolutely love this. Okay, now the downfall is I don't think the nib is replaceable at all. I could not remove the nib out no matter how hard I tried to pull on it. It did not come out. So I do not think that this nib is replaceable. But I mean, considering the price of the pen actually writes really, really good. And I love the color, and it's so pretty. And green, y'all know green is my favorite color. Okay, so now let's move on to the Jinhao 75. This is red and black. They have multiple colors, but I chose the red and black because I thought the red and black actually looked a lot more elegant. It's a snap cap, and if you see that, I love the red trimming, and it has Jinhao around the red trimming. And I love the fact that this is a black nib. Oh my gosh, y'all, I love it. I absolutely love it. This is a fine nib. I love it. I absolutely love it. This also has red trimming around the grip where the converter is inserted, and I love it. So we're gonna pen test it. Now this nib writes like I would say this nib writes more like an extra fine to me, because of how tiny. So pretty much I put some pressure on this to get y'all to be able to see this, but this particular nib actually writes like an extra fine. So I'll just show you if you can see this, the Jinhao 75. I did this for social media, so it writes like an extra fine to me. So the ink that I have in this is Beryllium Tulip Moth Warm, which I love. It's such a pretty color. Such a warm color. So this one is the Jinhao 601, a retro, which I absolutely also love this one. And I love the fact that the nib looks really, really elegant. It doesn't look like a cheap nib. And although I do like this Jinhao 80, you can see the differences in how the nib looks. Like, one just looks cheaper. So this one was about, I think, $15. This 601A retro was about $15, and it's totally worth it. I love the design. It's definitely a retro design, and I absolutely love the gold trimming. And it has a black grip, and it also has a converter, and it has gold trimming around the converter as well. And we will pen test it. Okay, y'all, my bad. I had to do 2 little swatches because I didn't really fill this up with ink at all. This is a fine nib as well. Now this particular pen writes like an extra fine, although it's fine. So I'll just show you again. So if you see here how fine it writes, it completely writes like an extra fine. So this ink is Sailor Ink Studio 737. If you're wondering what that is, so now this is the Sailor Ink. Now this is the Jinhao 35. This is the only one I think that is an extra fine nib. So it does have a snap cap. It's metal. And as you can see, it has like that. To me, I'm just gonna, it just has like a low quality nib on it, to be honest. This one I think was also about $12, $13. I'll have all this linked below in my description. It'll be, all these pens are in my Amazon storefront. However, it has no trimming on it. It's just metal throughout. And the color that I have in here is Sailor Shikiori Yodaki. And let's pen test it. So now with this one is definitely more finer. This one is definitely finer than all the other, of course, because it's an extra fine. So this one seems to have a lot more feedback, like the Jinhao 100 that I have the extra fine replacement nib. I'm not gonna say it's scratchy. It's really not scratchy. It just has like a little bit more feedback. It has a little bit more grip on the paper. I don't really have an issue with that, but I think that I would like to just pen test this on a Rhodaya and some Tomo River paper just to see if it makes a difference if you purchase an extra fine or a fine, because the fines of the Jinhao write amazing. Like, they're never scratchy, they're always smooth, the ink flow is very consistent. Okay, so let's go to the Jinhao 95 series. I absolutely love this one. And I just love because it really looks elegant. It looks like an expensive pen, like it really does. It's white and it has gold trimming. And it also came with a converter. And I appreciate Jinhao for putting converters in their fountain pens when you purchase them. It has that pretty nib on it. Oh my gosh, that gold and, well, it's not real gold, but y'all know. That gold, that dual tone nib on it, it just makes it look even more expensive. And it does post really well. And let's do a pen test. I absolutely love this one. It's so pretty. It writes really, really smooth. I mean, buttery smooth. It writes just like the Jinhao 100. It's so smooth, y'all. This pen writes really, really good. This pen was also inked with Sailor Ink Studio 373. So now we are going to try the Jinhao 86. I reviewed this in, I think, a previous video. This one really has a needlepoint nib. This pen writes amazing. It was 3 in a pack for $12, and I really thought it was gonna write like a $4 pen, but it really doesn't, to my surprise. Like I said, it's like all the Jinhaos come with a converter, so you don't have to worry about buying cartridges or a converter, because it comes with a converter. So this one is inked up with J. Herbon, Ombre de Bermani, and this is a Jinhao 86. So this is a fine nib. So if you are a person who writes really small, if you could see it, you probably can't even see it. If you write really small, this is the perfect pen for you to have. I promise y'all, I was not disappointed when I got this pen. It writes so good. However, with this pen, I did not find that it write really well on Tomoe River paper. I just found that it didn't write well to me. This is my personal opinion. It didn't write really well to me. I feel like the nib needs a more porous type of paper, which the 160 GSM is perfect for this particular pen. I think the Tomoe River paper is a little bit too soft for this particular nib, but that's up to your discretion. So now we're going to try the 9036, which is also a pen that I absolutely love. It has like some engraving on the back, the Jinhao label on the back. It has that gold trimming. This is natural cherry wood. This was about $15, and I instantly fell in love with this because it has the black grip with the gold trimming. The nib is also amazing. It's so pretty. It has like that two-tone with the silver and gold, and it also came with a converter, and it posts it. I don't post this one because this one doesn't post really well. So now we will pen test this. And y'all, I don't remember what this is ink with. I really don't. I have to look in the back of this book. So this is a Jinhao 9036. Natural cherry wood and a fine nib. So this pen also writes really smooth. I have no issues with ink flow at all. It is very consistent and it does not skip at all. It's very easy to clean, very easy to use. It writes really well on Tomoe River paper and 160 GSM. So now let me tell y'all what that's ink with. If you're interested, is ink with Ferris Wheel Press Emerald Gardens. I really couldn't tell because it was actually darker this time. So I'll just sit that here. So we have two more. This pen is massive, if y'all see that. When I saw this one, I just said, hey, you know, I just want to try this for the fun of it. This one I think was about $15 as well. None of these pens that I purchased were over like $15, and that's being honest. You can post this pen, but because it's so big, it might fall off. But I do like the gold trimming. It is a demonstrator style. I have not really written with it yet. I've only done a pen test for a real video, but I really do like that it has, like, you can have double the ink of a regular Jinhao converter, and it comes with the gold trimming around the converter, the top of the converter, which I really love. It just makes it sleek and stylish, and you can see it through the barrel. So I really love that. And you can actually see the ink reservoir here where the feeder and the nib is, and we will pen test it. So this actually is an extra fine nib, and this pen is massive, y'all. I did not know it was going to be this big. And to my surprise, y'all, and because you think it's super big, you think the nib will write bigger, but it's actually a true extra fine. So this is the Jinhao. So if y'all see that, see how fine it writes? Jinhao 9019 Dao series. And this is an extra fine nib. And this is ink with Sailor Ink Studio 970. I mean, just look at this pen. Amazing. So that pen is amazing. And normally I don't even like round pens like this, but I really just wanted to try that. Now we're going into the Jinhao 1935 Tiandao series, which really caught my eye was the guitar on the clip. And then the star at the top of the pen. I was in love. So of course I ordered it because I'm like, that pen is amazing. And it did come in red and black color if you're interested. So it has the gold trimming. I think that is just like the standard for most Jinhao pens, is that it comes with that gold trimming, and I absolutely love the gold trimming. So the only thing that I did not like was the nib. The nib looks extremely cheap, so it looks nothing like this one, which I would have appreciated had they utilized the same nib on the 1919 series as they would the 1935 series, because when I look at this nib, I just see cheap. Not even gonna lie. I mean, because most of their nibs look really, really good for the price point, but I think this one was retailed at like $14.99. However, I just don't appreciate this cheap looking nib. It just looks really cheap, and that's the only thing I really did not like about this pen. The nib is just, it looks really cheap. So now the converter does not have the gold trimming around the top of the converter like the Dao series, but I still like it because it's trimmed in gold and green. So now let's pen test it. Okay, sorry about that, y'all. If the quality of my video completely changed, it's because my personal phone ran out of space while I was recording. I don't know how, but it ran out of space, so I just switched to my work phone. So I'm just gonna finish recording this video on my work phone because I was literally almost finished with this video. So okay, so we were swatching the 1935 Tiandao series, and I was telling y'all that I did not appreciate this cheap looking nib on this pretty pen. So Jinhao 1935 Tiandao series, and it has a fine nib. And I'm thinking, what if I would have ordered an extra fine nib? Would it have looked differently? I'm not sure, but I'm actually going to go on Amazon to see if they actually have replacement nibs for this particular pen, because the feeder and the nib, I think the nib is able to come off. I didn't really try before the video, but I'm thinking this particular nib is able to come off. So I'm actually going to see if they have replacement nibs for this, because I just do not like this ugly nib at all. Maybe this is like a first generation nib or something. I don't know. Maybe it's a nib before they did upgrades. But anyway, so that's that one. Let's see if it barely fits. And we have one more, which is the Jinhao 82 that absolutely looks like a sailor. But this one writes completely better than a sailor. I'm sorry, that's my personal opinion. So y'all already know what I'm about to say. Don't come for me in the comments, because that's just my personal opinion. I know that Japanese nibs are supposed to have, they're made with like feedback, but the type of feedback that I have from my sailor, I just don't appreciate that type of feedback for an expensive pen like that. Whereas in this Jinhao, it's really the same pen. Not even lying. It is the exact same pen as a sailor. So the nib is just a whole lot smoother. And even though this particular nib has feedback, because this is an extra fine, the color of this is, I think, avocado. But although this is an extra fine, this writes a whole lot smoother than a sailor. So let's pen test it. This is a Jinhao 82 avocado extra fine. So the color in here is Diamond Ancient Copper, if you just want to know. And I absolutely love this one. This one is really a staple for me. I actually take this one with me everywhere. Now, the only thing that I do not like about this particular pen, and it might not be all of them, I am going to purchase another one like this just to see if it is a consistent thing with this particular model. But when you stop writing with it, even for a second, 2 seconds, the ink automatically dries. It's like it dries on the nib, and then I literally have to press down to get the ink flow to start again. So I don't know if it's just that maybe the tines are too tight. You know, I'm really not comfortable with adjusting the tines, because you can like twist it here, twist it there to kind of loosen up the tines a little bit. But I'm not comfortable doing that because I don't want to ruin this good pen, because then if you misalign the tines, then it really will be scratchy. So I don't know. So y'all let me know in the comments if you have a pen like this. Like, what do you suggest doing in order to get the ink flow moving a little bit faster and not drying every single time you stop writing? Because literally I can write, I can show you right now, see that? Dry. So I just don't know. But this pen, I absolutely love it. Would I recommend this? Yes, I would. Because just because it's doing that with my pen doesn't mean it would do that with another one. It just may be a little adjustment needed to be made to the tines to get the ink flowing a little bit more, because sometimes when the tines are too tight, it does stop the ink from flowing every single time that you write. But anyway, I feel like I'm talking so much. But that is my Jinhao haul. So let me know in the comments which pen you like, which one just stuck out to you, which one you want to try. Of course, I will have all this linked below in the description box. And if you stay to the end of the video, give me a green heart in the comments, and like, share, subscribe to my content. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.